The Great Recession is the headline. $158 billion tax cut plan, bid to cut red tape, biggest contraction since Great Depression. Here we go. The Morrison government is considering pulling forward $158 billion worth of personal income tax cuts in next month's budget to boost the economy out of its deepest recession since the Great Depression. Frydenberg said infrastructure spending, reduction of business red tape, increasing the skills of workers and business tax relief were all part of the government's plans to boost jobs and stimulate the economy. The $158 billion in personal tax cuts due in mid-2022 and mid-2024 are also being considered as a way to get people spending. The tax cuts are in 3 different stages, and we are considering the timing of those tax cuts, and any announcements would be made in the budget. It is fair to say these are very substantial reforms. Well, fortune favours the brave, Josh Frydenberg and Scott Morrison, and I can tell you now, as Caleb, you have just intimated, the only way to get this country back on track is to get people spending. And this is, I think, the reform that we've been looking for.
Well, it's an immediately smart move to make. If you're already talking about tax cuts, why not bring them forward? If you want to put money in people's pockets, the easiest way to do it is to cut their taxes. If you give people more money, if you entrust them to spend that money properly, they generally will. And by the way, a lot of the things that they spend money on will incur GST, and governments will make tax out of people spending money that they save by getting a tax cut anyway. I mean, it's not stupid when people say that the less a government asks for, the more they get. The more people have the opportunity to spend, to buy cars on which they may pay luxury car excise, for instance, to buy fuel to drive that car, which has massive excise on it. I mean, there are so many other ways that governments can collect money kind of covertly without putting large income tax amounts on people. You give them money to spend and they will spend it. And this is a great opportunity for Josh Frydenberg. I think this will be the making of Josh Frydenberg, because in times of turmoil, people look to leaders. I mean, you look at every great wartime leader, people like Winston Churchill, who are obviously revered still, because in times of trouble, people look to them as a leader and they delivered. And this is kind of that time for people like me who've grown up when we've had eternal economic growth, which, you know, we were led to believe was going to go on forever and ever and ever, and we've hit the wall. The first time it's happened in 30 years. This is the first serious problem in the world that anyone of my generation has seen. So people are going to look to people like Josh Frydenberg and Scott Morrison and many other leaders around the world to take the bull by the horns and do something. And if Frydenberg can do that, if he can turn the economy around, he will cement himself as one of Australia's great treasurers. That's the opportunity in his hands. I hope he takes it.